Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Imperator Egypt. Yes, that's what we're calling this. And hey, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I'd love to see you around more often. And mentioning scene, you can also post a comment below. That's how I know who's been watching. So please do so. Okay. If you watched the last episode, we got the Pharaoh's lighthouse, and the Egyptian pyramids had disappeared. And when I reloaded it immediately after the last game, the Egyptian pyramids were back. So I guess it's just some sort of minor buggish thing when it updated, you know, the I don't know, immovable 3D graphics thingy, because we can sort of see that we're coming around different sides of it by looking at how it's disappearing the shadow. So it is a 3D graphics. When it added that one, somehow this one disappeared. But we can also see here we have Great Pyramids, so local civilization level plus 5%, local slave happiness plus 10% until the end of the game. Local, people have talked about the confusing terms they use in this game. Like when the Olympics show up or some of the other things show up, it has the family name under the person's profile, and it has their first name down in the text description down there, like as if we're supposed to remember. So yeah, so I don't know what local means. This city, this province, or this region. I don't think it means region. I think it's, in my opinion, is equally balanced between province and city, though of course we only see it here, but maybe it's more likely city, but there wouldn't be more than one of these, so I don't know. And we can come over here and see that we have just simply that this is Alexandria, local civilization level, and I would agree with that. You know that it's a bonus, plus 10%. And now that we have the Pharaoh's Lighthouse, local import routes plus 2. Commerce income, now this is, I presume, countrywide, and I'm presuming because we don't know, because sometimes they do say national and sometimes they say local, and I don't know. Well, now here we have local import routes, which, and local in this for sure refers to the province, not just the city. So maybe it's more the province, I don't know, or maybe they you know, use local and sometimes meaning city and sometimes meaning province and sometimes meaning region. I have no idea. But commerce income is plus 25%. And local civilization level is plus 10%, so we have a total of plus 20% for whatever this local here means. So since we have the ability for 2 more trade routes, what I want to do, and I've actually sort of in between episodes, for some benefits, as we can see here for cloth, surplus in the capital, which this is the capital, is plus 5% to oratory tech investment, and plus 5% in the province surplus. But having one isn't a surplus. Having one is just sort of, I guess, meeting needs, which is so local tax plus 10%. And papyrus, civic tech investment. I definitely see, well, one, I have to take to some degree that this is a, you know, Imperator Rome, that they focus on Rome. But I could see that any tech investment, having a lot of papyrus means that you can write a lot of things down much more easily. Because my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, there are, well, I'm thinking of 4 types of being able to write stuff down, or materials to write down on things. Papyrus, which is where we get our word paper from, but it's sort of mashed or layered up papyrus reeds that makes a paper-like thing. That's one of them. The other is vellum, which is cured animal skins. That they still use that for, and they call some things vellum that looks sort of like vellum. It really isn't, for like, you know, college degrees and things like that. It's sort of, you know, sheepskin often, but it could be other sort of animal skins that's scraped and is done, and they turn it into a flexible, tanned ability to write on. And so, unless you have papyrus reeds somewhere in the world, and so China doesn't have them, to the best of my knowledge. So I don't know what China's doing right now for paper. They may have other sorts of paper, I don't know. And basically it's coming mostly out of Egypt, some of the other places, and also have the reeds and have the know-how to make them. You're not making papyrus. Paper comes along, I believe, considerably later. And so vellum, not the paper, papyrus is cheap, but vellum is much more labor intensive and limited number of animal skins, because you want to use them for other leather and other things out there. And then you have clay tablets, often that are just left to dry, often that are maybe sun baked. It's the ones that we sort of have, some of them, I think that we have them to this day, is because they were burnt down. They were in buildings that were burnt down, so they became fire baked, you know, clay, you know, really rock hard. And then of course inscriptions in stone. I think that's it. I'd love for someone to, if you know of other things in the sort of classical era, have you post some of that below. If they did sort of truly did a paper of a, you know, bleached wood pulped glued thingy. So I definitely agree with more research points for more paper. Cloth, oratory tech investments. The only thing I can think of is the togas that the Romans wore. And togas aren't what you see in a toga party. Togas are the big sort of cloth drapery that you put over your sort of long shirt. That was specific to the Roman senator. So let's see, we want to I think we want to go with, yeah, we're gonna go with Heptan Momus, so I'm butchering that. So they have the most excess. And cloth. Well, we're out of our own sources of excess cloth. We can go with Judea. So now, for some reason, they're not giving us these nice little circle things, but we now have a +1 surplus here. So we're pushing our tech investments and oratory investments higher. We'll check that. Oh, I also want to check that to see that it is appearing that we can see it here. Oratory investments, surplus of cloth and capital +5%, and civic surplus of papyrus in capital. Okay, I want to do one last sort of round of giving away money to hopefully disrupt. I know some of these countries look like they're dying, but here, but I just want to, let's see, not that I like these countries so much or anything, it's just disrupting our competitors, our enemies. Okay. That may help them raise some more troops. And we are down because of going into debt too long. Not just going into debt, but too long. We've lost one level of stability. I want to sacrifice a pig or whatever, sacrifice to the gods. So we will do this because it costs us not money but religious power, and we seem to have enough. So let's go back to 2, level 2. Level 2 is, I mean, I'm sure happy to get level 3, but level 2 is sort of where I'm wanting to sort of push things, willing to spend the religious power or other, if there's, you know, money or other sort of opportunity to spend, try to keep it at that. And we now have, not only do we have up to 1,000 on it, base is 11 amount of military traditions. I'm going to see if I wait a few more days to see, because I think some of this may go down. I don't know, plus 20% ruler corruption. Is Ptolemy that level of corrupt? No, we just have 1, but I guess it's other elements. He's not insane yet, is he? I'm going to be forever removing the insanity quotient. Judean Civil War ends. Interesting. Okay. And then martial advances. Yeah, there we are. Thought was going to happen. Go down to 800. So I want to get, because I might as well not spend 200 points. I want to get siege ability. That's sort of what I was pushing for, to better siege cities, fortified cities, whatever it may be. So now we have 2 armies up here. Well, we're going to let a little bit more money build up, I think. But we're now able to build up to 10 buildings here in Alexandria. I don't know how many is possible, if there's a theoretical maximum. That's maybe because we're trading in more, that it doesn't have that. Because those may be a local surplus to trade away. Don't know. Maybe a UI thing and not a buggy thing. I just don't know. Oh, he's doing governor policy. I don't want that. I don't need money from down here. This is too far away, too limited. What do I want though? Culture mode? Do I want to convert this to courage trade? We are getting in grain. That's what I definitely want to have more population growth. Yeah, borderlands, but I don't know that we need to do more fort defense down here right now. Social mobility, local autonomy, happiness, civilization, efforts. I think we're gonna risk the unrest, because we have basically none down here, and do cultural assimilation, so that we'll try to make them Macedonians more than we're trying to make them Hellenic religionists, but hey, we may do that too. they're taking back the cities and they just conquered it. Well, it looks like they left a rump state of these guys. That's actually fairly good for us. It looks like they left a rump state up there of them. I don't know. Yeah, so they're weakened a bit. Maybe not much. Oh, and they left a rump state over there. Actually, a fairly big state over there. With that. Okay. Well, they are weakened. Very good. Very good. And they're not massively weakened or anything, like cut in half, but means a little bit weaker. A little bit better for us if we, or when we go to war with him. Okay, we don't want to do him because he's just too corrupt. He'll hold the job long. He's a little less loyal, but he'll get a 20-point jump in loyalty if we give him an office. You know, an office, not a physical office, but a, you know, position. Yeah, we'll go with that. So we can now click on him and see 85%. So he's now actually more loyal than the other guy. No, the other guy, of course, would have gotten the jump, but okay. Army maintenance costs, that would be really good, down 10%. Fighting season, more supplies. Not that coastal defense is bad, but we're not having much. Pirate spawning, okay. National tax plus 5%, that's good. Freeman output, capital import routes, though we already have 7. Not that I would mind 8. We'll get that eventually. Governor on monthly loyalty, that's good. Soothsayers, more recovery, open, primary cultural. Religion, or culture happy. Private cults, omen duration. I'm going to reduce the cost of our army. Because with anything, a business, a country, whatever, there's 2 ways to increase your profits. Is either increase your income or lower your costs. Well, we're going to lower our costs by 10% for our army. So that is... No, we didn't look before, so well, that was last month, so 18. We'll see what the next... We can see you're now down to 16. So yeah, approximately a 10% loss, so that's very good. Well, I'm sure it's 10%, but yeah. Okay, we see their fleet at 19 ships. We've got 22, so we need to keep that in mind. We may want to build a couple of more. We'll do that. Just to make sure that we are ahead on the trireme race. Okay, I want to, because now that we've reduced the cost of our armies, I want to grab a couple of more horse archers here since we have steppe horses. They're not terribly cheap monthly costs. I'm not so much worried about that. I mean, that is an issue, but the initial cost I'm more worried about maintenance. And I think I want to do another hippies. These aren't the hippies that grow long hair and smoke pot. Hippie is Latin, I think? Or is it Greek? I think it's because hippodrome. A hippie, or a hippo, is a horse. A hippopotamus is a river horse. Okay, so, well, I guess we'll use this fleet here. You come over, pick up these guys. Now what I'm doing is, That's to sort of let you know, and that's part of these. This is better than earlier Paradox games, but in my opinion still unsatisfactory. And maybe this is because I played I need to get to that Field of Glory Empires, which they have a little better, not a whole lot better field battle thing, but if you do Field of Glory 2 mixed with Empire's Field of Glory, you actually get to command the element here. So right here, flanking cohorts are these, not just horses, but these specific light cavalry, and not horse archers, as far as I know. So what I want to do is once we get 2 of them, okay. Crisis in Phrygia. Well, that's the Antigonid. Yes, the recent death of the ruler has caused a great deal of political disturbance. I went, okay. I thought we just had that. Wow. That's happening again. Okay, so now that we have... We're going to create a new army. And so these guys would not necessarily be stuck out on the flank. I don't know how they would be used. But we're going to send them over here because we already have some horse archers. So this way we can have 2 horse archers per flank. Okay. Fire truck sort of going by here. So we'll have 2 horse archers per flank over here. This is something of an unsatisfactory army, but we just sort of pulled units that weren't overly loyal to him. And this way he can have regular light cavalry over here for his, and we're going to give him another light one so that he can have 2 per flank. I have a dream of a perfect game. You want to hear it? You want to hear it? Yes, I hear you all shouting. Oh, you gotta go to the port. That's well. I mean, we could try to just take them in from the beach, but what I would love, and I think someday they will do it, but what I would love is to have sort of 3 games rolled into one. Now, the Total War series sort of did 2 of them, and that is sort of this empire management and actual commanding of the battles. I, for various reasons, haven't liked my experiences overly much with the Total War battle system, you know, going in and actually managing it. So, and I would do it sometimes, sometimes not. But so that is a good thing. The third thing, and this goes back to playing the old Caesar 1, 2. I never played 3, but I've seen some of 3, and some the Egypt version of Caesar, whatever it was called. I'm sorry, I forget. It was a city management game. Blend all 3 of them together. So each one of these cities, you would click on it and go like there and actually go into city management and manage it. Now, do you want to, even for some country like Egypt, now if you just have, you know, Athens or something small, you would maybe mostly do it there. Want to manage each one of these cities? No, that would be too much. And then you wouldn't necessarily have to have all the little elements running, but you would have a city mayor or whatever you would want to call them. That would be an AI thing, and that would just sort of AI manage it, sort of, you know, just, well, it has more than these buildings, sort of like, you know, Total War series or whatever, you know, multiple buildings in there. Now, if you clicked on it, they would, yes, be able to make a graphics display that would show each sort of city and what it's doing. But if you wanted to say, manage Alexandria and some other key cities, you could do it some of the time, all of the time, but have a sort of a city and greater area management game that you plot out roads, you build fortifications, you you designate more. I mean, we build things the state would build, but otherwise you designate other areas as like housing or commercial areas, or you know, whatever, so that not everything is paid for by the state. You know, meaning coming out of your central, some just natural sort of economic growth. But have a city management game that you could manage some key cities. And other times you set up and, you know, manage your overall empire, as well as what I would like is the Field of Glory 2 style battles. Okay, these guys. They look like they're at war with all of these guys. Okay, so we're going to send them a gift so that they will hopefully... I'm hoping that they actually do get that money and are able to, say, raise more troops or something. Now, I'm also going to come over here and build... There is a... You don't really sort of see it, but if you come in over here... I think this is still their capital, isn't it? Is it not? They don't show signs of a fort, but I've definitely seen... And it seems to be that wherever the capital is also considered a fortified city. That's my understanding. But we're going to actually build a fort here to hopefully go up in fortification levels over just a 1 to make this more fortified. Okay. Because I want to be able to move my armies away, and now if we have cash, we have mercenaries we can hire. Yeah, see, here's what I was talking about earlier, is do we want to send Polygnus or whatever, or who? But we can come up over here and see which one. So some of this is not so great. Okay, let's look at the stats. We're looking at stats. He's very unreligious and very old and whatnot, but he has a lot of civic power, where he has more military, more religious, and a bit younger, though not terribly young. So we're going to send, yeah, Mamarcus. Okay, this will give him 4 lights. These are mostly light infantry over here, so 4 light horse, 2 archers. You come over here, pick up. Looks good. Okay, no, we're not going to let... Elephants are too strategic, even though I do see war elephant discipline improvement. Too strategic. I want to be one of the few people with elephants. I think the Seleucids and I think the Carthaginians are the ones that really have access to elephants, as well as us now that we have. Down here. I think we'll build 3 heavies to go to that army up there. Whichever Stratosis is. Okay, death. Okay. Okay, oratory, 43 years old. He'd hold the office longer. He's not terribly loyal, but it would jump up. See, I don't know. I'm more concerned about religion and seeing that they're Hellenistic religion versus oratory with somebody who isn't. Because I don't know what that would do to my religious standing by putting a non. Now, culture, is that going to affect? I don't know that it would. So we'll do that. We are definitely a Greco-centered, but we are trying to be a. Oh, and let's see about managing our family a little bit. Let's see who can we marry her off to. She is 25 years old. That's more than old enough to start getting married here. He is sarcastic, generous, and uncaring. How do you have both uncaring and generous? Well, let's click on her man shows. He's not married. Why? Can we get him and Berenice? Why not? He's 22 years old. She's 23 or 25. There she is. Okay. And she's jealous, fragile, abrasive, and tactically inflexible. Boy, I want her as ruler so bad. Where he is... Oh, he's lunatic. Okay, well, okay, we're gonna get these two married. But we're going to save this, and you get to watch me go in. You're not gonna get to actually see me do it, but I'm gonna save this, and then I'm going to come over here while you look at that screen and go to Documents, Paradox Interactive, Imperator, Save Games, open up the save game in a text editor, and see if I can find. There we go, Herman. No, that looks like a different guy. This one is age 69, not him. No. Age 37, no. Age 70, no. Age 62. Wish there was an easier way. Age 53, age 7, age 34. There we go. 22, lunatic. Bye-bye, lunatic. I don't know whether it's, like I've said before, any scholar, that's okay. Aggressive, that's okay. Guileless, well, okay, that's good. And Berenice, I'm going to see about editing some of her. She'd be up for that. Let's see if we can find her. That one's age 72. 50, 46, 42, 65, 60, 71, 51, 74, 40. Looking at their ages here. 23, that's... No, that's not her, is it? She is 25, so close, but not her. 61, 25, that is probably her, yes. Oh no, maybe not. Frail, abrasive, no, tactically inflexible. No, that's not her. Guess there's two 25-year-olds in this. 25, here's another one. Okay. Frail, jealous, abrasive. Didn't you pick it? Okay. It's your reputation cost. I'm just going to get rid of jealous, just since we're already doing this. I don't know. Abrasive, max rivals, +1. Tribute. Well, no, I won't do that. I'm really trying not to make these out to be some sort of superheroes or anything like that. And I really just want to correct things like, oh, lunatic! Really? Why are we producing so many lunatics? You go inbreeding. Well, look at the Habsburgs. They seem to do pretty good with that for many generations. This may be a little closer, but maybe 10 generations down we get a little more stuff, but... not enough of a thing for me to... Okay, now... Oh, we could be... Well, yeah, we're not having good luck. Okay, I think we want to... We're having fairly good income right now. So, let's look to see about building more training camps. That's what we need to do. Yeah, look for places that don't have any that... Oh, no, cancel. Okay, they have 2 already. They're too small. They already have 1. They're too small. They have 2. We'll do a granary there, I think, yeah. Yeah, we'll do a second one there. They're maxed out until we get more people there. I don't know. I want to try to keep things somewhat balanced. You know, instead of having like all training camps in one province or something like that. Partially, I'm not like... Oh, we've already got one going there. You're right. Partially I want to say have the population grow, so I want a granary. Partially I want to have culture and more money come out of the province, so I want to have a market there. So that's, or out of the city. And so that is part of it. Part of it is I don't know if there's negative effects of just having having too of an unbalanced situation. Okay, you guys get together. Okay, so now we have 4 archers as local tensions. Okay, tensions have been growing between the Macedonian colonists and locals in Elassa. The locals claim our settlers are rejecting local traditions and power structures, and our colonists, on the other hand, claim the locals are only alarmed because the new Macedonian settlement is surpassing the existing metropolis of the region. So, let's find Elassa, just so we know what we're talking about. Elassa, there we are. Okay, right down here. Okay, and this is definitely, we're coming up there. So we can support Macedonian interests, which is probably what we're going to do. Upper governor gains loyalty. Good. Although he looks rather Egyptian by his bald head. Egyptians, because I think it was so freaking hot there, shaved their head and then wore wigs often. Not always wore wigs, but wore very artificial looking wigs, and I think it was a style to be artificial looking. But he is Hellenic Macedonian. So we get two freemen Macedonians appear. Colonist unrest until 501, so approximately 10 years. Local unrest goes down. We're going to support Macedonian interests because we're a Macedonian and we're trying to Macedonianify our civilization here. Okay, we have both a market and a granary down in the capital there of the province. Well, they're sort of something of a thing. Let's build a granary to help the population go down there, just since all of that's going on. Okay, now 4 horse for the flank, lights and archers there. We're going to get 4 or 3 heavies to put in the center of that. We'll pause. And we could do another omen. Well, we're getting 40. Well, that was last month. Let's see what may change now. 37. So it's gone down from 40 something to 37. So it's not a huge drop per month, but a lot of these are so tempting for me. Yeah, I think we'll do commerce income. Economy, where trade overview. You can see all of these trades, imports that we're importing, all of these exports. So hopefully with all of this, having national commerce income, hopefully that will really bump that up. And yes, a lot more training camps have been built. Okay, that will help things. Now we can look up here. Okay, they have a fortification, so we're going to build a marketplace. Let's say port city. We're going to do granary, and a granary. Try to develop the population out here on Cyprus. And since these are so low, we're going to do one there too. Don't want to spend too much all at once, but okay, a petitioner approaches a mature individual by the name of Eunice Jedhid. I don't know if the D is silent. I don't know. Approached Arbelus in a private this morning. In a hushed voice, she spoke a vision in the near future, which she was found by her loved ones having been murdered by a slobbering lunatic. Okay, yeah, how awful. We'll take good care of her. That'll make her feel good. She can give us money. We'll put her in protective custody. And that'll allow me to come here and do another granary to try to get going there too. Let's see what we can do here. We want to go for population growth, I guess. Oh, I want to go for more soldiers, but I think by getting more population, we can get more soldiers to, you know, that kind of thing. Okay. National taxes +5, fighting season. That's really good if we're going to war. Monthly governor loyalty, open negotiation, diplomatic reputation. I really wish, because one of the things I do want to get like is coding here, and since we've gone up, it's now no longer one of the 3 options. I wish we could see all of the options that we've sort of earned the right to be able to do by our level of research in the areas. Capital import routes, aggressive expansion impact method. I'm going to resist the more money. Let's go monthly governor loyalty. Not sure that that's needed, but over the long term it may be very useful. Okay, guys. If you know of a way to load troops onto boats while they're still in harbor instead of having them walk out there, I'd love for you to tell me. If anybody knows that, whether they're playing themselves or I'm watching some other YouTuber. Like we can unload by sailing into a port. Just a little extra speed. Okay, let's come over here and also build up my population there on Cyprus. So look at Cyprus, especially if I keep maintain naval superiority, but even if I don't, it's so much easier for them to walk an army somewhere else than it is for them to invade here. So this looks like a very secure place. I hope to hold it. Okay, what do they want? Papyrus from province of Memphis. Yeah, we'll do that. Now they're local 22, and I was a little worried. Yeah, okay, we're going to keep it under 20 still, I think. That's size of army here. Able to efficiently support. Okay, Judea, local 11 power Judea. Camels from. Okay, you can have camel troops. That's strategic, but I'm not that worried about you having camels. And 22. Okay, so they're well below the population. Well, they can have 2 buildings, so we'll throw in a granary there. And we'll do 1 there. You can see how rich the population down in the delta of Egypt is. Okay, so this army up here, it has a lot of horse archers, a little light, well, reasonable amount of light infantry, 2 archers. Berenice falls ill. Interesting. Okay, well, this is at least good that we have that notification happen, like I say. Let's seek treatment. And if the doctors butcher her, which it happened to me one time, I may go in and change that. They want vegetables from the province of Luxor. Bonus. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. Okay, so we're up here. Let's see about increasing our archers by 2. And let's see about increasing our phalanx by 2. Okay, so now these guys have 3 phalanxes, bunch of light infantry, archers, and some light horse. Reasonable enough. We've got 2 elephants. 2 elephant units or whatever. Okay, we now have a fortification built in Alexandria. Well, I think we have lots of markets. We have some training camp, you know, 2. I think we'll do a granary. Second one there to really try to boost the population and support of it. We could do 1 there too. Here in our phalanx Macedonian city. Let's do another training camp. Treatment successful. Very good. Very good. Okay, now that we have some granaries to increase the population, hopefully, well, it will, but hopefully effectively. Let's go with a market. Here we have training camps and barracks, that's what I sort of like to think of them, and another market. Trade winds. The fickle sea can bring ruin or prosperity to many locals, in the city of Paphos appears to be reaping the rewards of particularly good trading season this year. Okay, commerce income plus 50%. Very good. Hopefully these are relatively well balanced. This is, of course, mostly light infantry. Not that this isn't, but more archers. And at least in balance, more heavies. I don't want to overburden, because we were at 18, we went down to 16 army maintenance, and now we're up because we've increased the army size considerably. This is just our peacetime. Of course, we could try to spam out and build lots of units once war starts, but or we're really prepping for war. Okay, river barges, capital trade route, national tax. We'll improve our diplomatic relations. I do have a tendency to focus on things like money and military power, so trying to balance some of that. Well, that city disappeared, whichever one of these, I think it was this one that was independent. Okay, lofty ambitions. Admiral Court Suthnid. I'm sure it sounds funny to anybody who knows how to pronounce these things. And his dreams of high office are fairly well known in Egypt, but recently he has been lobbying more urgently for his suitability and deservedness. While primarily we would be able to appoint whoever we like this post without causing offenses, the enthusiasm has put us in an awkward position regarding the incumbent official. So we can just give him a job, but Hermanchos here, our loyal son, our reasonably loyal son, would lose 20 loyalty, take a while to build them back up. And we can persuade this guy. He's going to lose. And let's look at him. This is... what job does he want to have? Philosophos. Whatever, philosopher. Okay, so that is religious power. Okay, well, he's okay on religious power, but not as good as what we have here. He loses prominence, currently no prominence. Brother of Governor of Palestine. Okay, we're gonna persuade him not to do it. That was my inclination, but I wanted to see what options we have. Okay. We'll do a market in the provincial capital. We'll do one training barracks to help out here and another granary here. And we'll do a granary to help with population growth, which will help hopefully with troop size. Support size. Red-handed. Oh, the guy we just kept into office was discovered helping himself to sizable quantity of gold from the national treasury. Have him flogged. Loses 20 health. Egypt loses 15. Gain 10 popularity. We lose 10 popularity. He gains loyalty. We're going to do that. We can afford the loss of loyalty, and we don't want to go after our son for that. Next time, just come to us. We'll give you money. Maybe not that much, but we'll give you some money if you need money. What is this? Thermal vortex? I don't know. Okay, I think we're all built out for the time being out on Cyprus, so we've got them as developed as we can get. What are they importing? Where are they importing? Oh, they're already importing the grain to help the population growth. Don't know why they don't have fish for being an island. Normally somewhere someone would be fishing. not surprised. Oh, we can do another building here. Or here. Let's go with granary. We can destroy a building, so if for some reason we think we want to go from growth to more market income or something, we can do that. They don't have a trade route. Okay, they have there too. Yeah, let's we'll deal with that in a second. Let's go for more grain coming in. Well, all we need is I'll do it Eastern Delta. We just need an over excess. I don't think helps us anything more than a single excess. So Western Delta. And national commerce income, very good. And wages, monthly character wages are down. Very good, that will be helpful. Ptolemaic Philadelphus has that word. He has fallen ill. Okay, dysentery. I think that is something that we can seek treatment on. Very good. Ooh, wealth of the target character. It's going to not bankrupt us, but it's going to cost us a lot. Now, this guy here. Yeah. Ambitious, abrasive, blunt, okay. Obsessive. Let's see, that sounds like a good marriage. See if we can quickly find her looking for the blue thing on her head. Instead of trying to read all of the... There we are. There we go. Increase the Ptolemaic line. Okay, yeah. Since we just had that big 600 gold expense, I'm not going to start building more things just yet. National Freeman happiness. Treatment successful. Well, excellent. Excellent. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll wait till we build up to 600 plus. No, this isn't as exciting as conquering lands and whatnot, but this is a combination of, I think, the way I want to have a game like this. I didn't like the element of aggressors, ancient Rome, that everybody was always at war with everybody else, just about. And if you had somebody who was sort of an ally or a friend, they wanted you to get into their war against somebody else. And it's just this constant warfare. I like other elements of the game, but it's not nearly this game by any means, and it's, yeah. So, because they weren't always at war, but they may have always been at competition and everything else. So I both like the empire building aspect of the game, and think that building a, solid base, getting ready, somewhat by having these two armies here, now I can start running around, defending / running around with a base of support, build a bunch of light infantry out of these areas to create more units once war breaks out. Okay, well, he's a little corrupt. He's not, but he is 71 years old. Corrupt, corrupt, corrupt. Okay, we'll take the 71-year-old. Might not last long in the job, but... And I think we should... Where is their capital currently? Is it moved? Thought it was there. If I click it, does it tell me where their capital is? Maybe somewhere. It was there. May still be here. Well. We see another location for it. This is of course just a port, but looking for like a fortification or they've got the Gardens of Babylon. I want to know where their capital is. I think one of the things I've been doing wrong is, yeah, I've got a lot of unrest here right now, is that I've been trying to go province by province and sweep up all of the cities. Is this? Can I see that there? Fortification, and it's not showing up as a other fort. I think it's a capital fort. Well, I think it may be. Fort level 1. Well, it does show a fort there, so I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. And so I think maybe, not that you shouldn't try to besiege and take each cities. I think maybe I should move more directly to their capital and or some of their very major cities and try to take those, and in doing so engage their major army in a favorable battle towards us and take them down. To get victory better. Okay. National income. What do they want? Dates. Okay, you can have some dates. Now, even with our increased army maintenance and things, we're up to 45 per month. But I did say 600. So yeah, so I want to build up an empire, the empire, not just crush all before me as fast as possible. So yeah, and sort of more realistic in the idea that sure, we're gonna have wars and I want to take these guys down, but I'm sort of watching. They've got lots of allies that can come in and mess with things. They have a couple of casus belli. And so, you know, is this the time to attack? Maybe. But really the time would be is if these guys were to go to war with them as well. And jump in, and so that we're both, you know, ganging up on them. Well, yeah, we'll try to improve opinion here. Oh, barbarians, why didn't you have a pop-up for me? Wine. Okay, we'll do that. I think they're gonna go there and bounce back, and so we'll wait for them and defeat them the second time. Okay, autonomy, industrious folks. Wonderful, they get a granary. Sure. Where is that? Just out of curiosity. What is that? B-O-U. B-O-U-T-O-S. Let's jump in a little bit further than jump down there. Okay. Yeah, wonderful. Okay, so here they have a granary now. Very good. And we will reward that local industrial effort with a market to help you out. Since you're undoubtedly good. Yeah, they're coming back for the second round. We're victorious, and now get out of the desert so you don't keep attritioning my troops. Seeing how quickly and how easily that's attriting my troops. Yeah, let's go in for hopefully another round of these mostly training camps. Bigger the province population or city population, the more effective the camp will be. There we go. Not the army. Oh, well, you will give a market to. There we go. That's about enough spending for the moment. Come over and see Rome out here is still growing. Etrusca still seems to exist, though they're fighting at Umbria. I don't know much about them. Rome still hasn't fully taken the peninsula. What is this? Sicilia? Is that supposed to sort of be Syracuse or something? Greater Syracuse? I don't know. Or is that Sicilia, some sort of tributary? Well, let's look at that. There's an alliance with Lucania. Okay, they're guaranteed by Rome. Okay, Rome is exporting wood and wine. So they're guaranteed by Rome, presumably mostly against a Carthaginian push. We've not yet seen a Carthaginian push to the Iberian Peninsula. Celtica, yeah, there were Celts, very much so, down in Iberia. All of this is mostly Celtic cultural groupings. This was called Cisalpine Gaul, so this would be mostly deemed Celts by the Romans, and this was Transalpine Gaul, Gaul, the far side of the Alps. And we know by this time period, at least most of these people up here would be considered Celts. Now, I don't know at this time, 259 BC, what some of these tribes were in here. Obviously, I would say these are sort of Germanic tribes, and they then do push. You know, here's the Rhine River. So they do I have that right? Yeah. So they do push this way in. And there were also Celts. My understanding is Celtic culture sort of starts over here. And it's more of a cultural spread, but there is definitely, and we haven't seen this yet in the game. Here's a bunch of Gauls show up here, become sort of Galatia over here, and I think because of what we're seeing, modern genetic studies have proven that the Celts did not overrun Britain, and that from some of the genetic tests from pre-Celtic burials and whatnot, what they've done to current, is that Celtic culture overran Britain. Now there, I think, is like one tribe that has the tribal name down here, and then another tribe has the same name up here. So it very well that some of them could be, you know, conquests to some degree coming out of here, of Gaul. But it's as much about cultural spread as about conquest or population replacement. And so I think the Galatians that showed up down here were very much from period records, a migration of peoples and whatnot. But I also think people just found Celtism cool. It's like, hey, you're a goth, or, you know, in the modern culture, or you're an emo person. Hey, that's cool. I want to be one of them too. And so locals picked up the Celtic culture as well as, or as much, if not more so than population replacement. Moral education, research points. That's good. Open religion, private cults. Those almost seem contradictory, but not necessarily. We're going to do moral education. That will help our research points to hopefully push development faster. Wish, and if somebody knows, I'd love to have you post a better way than simply base plus Ptolemaics. That's what all these basic are. For getting more military mana. But yeah, right now, because we've recently got our last one, is super difficult. It'll go down to probably 1,000 at some point here. We'll see about getting some of the others. Okay. More. Okay, we want... Okay, he's good but corrupt. We're trying to avoid too many corruption, because if nothing else, I don't know if it affects overall governmental level of corruption, but it definitely affects his wage by 20% up. Where he is guileless, which reduces his corruption level. Loyal. Oh, he has dementia. How interesting. Or he would be much better. Merton. Corruption, other family member. I think we're gonna go with this guy without the dementia and without the corruption. Won't last long. Okay. Oratory advances. Very good. So let's take a quick look. So Defiant Hellenism, Herbalism, alumin from this guy, and military artisans. We are at level 4. We're currently, and because we are ahead of time, we have an 18% reduction, which is keeping us at 110%. So we're actually doing fairly well with that. Now here, we're at 155. We're ahead of time with a negative 36, but we are Defiant Hellenism, Herbalism, alumin, the guy here for 130, surplus of papyrus, advanced wall construction, and other things. Here we are really pushing through there. Here again, very much in advance. Yeah, with various elements. And here, not as big advance, but we're still doing it. Okay, so we're all over 100%, even though we're all ahead of time. So we are really pushing that. Okay, so I think at this point we're going to end this episode. So if you're still with us, thanks so much. I do appreciate that. If you haven't already, please like the video, and of course I love hearing from you. So post questions and comments. Oh, and if I forgot to say, please subscribe to the channel. Post questions, comments, suggestions, tips. See you next time for more historical gaming.